So this one's gonna be what's wrong with schools, and it's a tricky one because I think you need to go to school in America and today's standards and things like that because you have to. Um, but it's more than just what Bill Gates has said, and Bill Gates has been trying to get the government and the schools to change. He says we're teaching for like the 60s and an industrial society when we're becoming a technological society and things like that. And there's a whole bunch of really smart people trying to fix the school systems. Ron Paul, Alex Jones had ran about the school system, a whole bunch of us, right? I wanted to give my personal input and opinions because me coming from basically the bottom kind of to the top, meaning schools in Compton and Watts to Bellflower, then to schools in Palos Verdes. And if you don't know what that is, you can just say mountain beach city on the water, on the beach, like Malibu. You can think Malibu's most wanted. So from Compton, from Boys in the Hood to Malibu's most wanted. And what I experienced was I would get good grades when I went from Compton to Watts. My grades stayed good. When I went from Watts to Bellflower, they were like, "What were they teaching you down there in Watts in the ghetto, man? We're gonna have to hold you back." No, don't hold me back. But my grades went down, and then I had to play catch up, and then I could bring them back up. When I moved from Bellflower to Palos Verdes, it was the same thing. What were they teaching you down there, man? Oh my goodness, and it's like they wanted to put me in a lower grade. And I pleaded and begged, no, don't do that, you can't do that, no. But they had to put me in special ed classes. That's the only thing they could do. And in a few years, I was back in AP science class with kids in grades higher than me. So it's not that me or people from the hoods or Compton, whatever, aren't capable of learning on, the subjects. It's that we're not taught the same. And I just think that is mad fucked up. It's shady. It's like a setup. It's part of the system. So you graduate high school in the hood, you're not as smart as the people in the higher societies. And so what college is going to accept you? What kind of people are going to get the grants and, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's stupid. I think it's all for money and it's a money game because you have to ask the question, why, if someone has the knowledge in a specific field, you could be a science genius, you could be a biological genius, but you're never going to get a job without that diploma or that college, and why? When colleges are so fucking expensive. Why? We can learn through the internet now. So it should just be, if you're going for a job, there should be a test for that job. And if you pass the test, you can get the job. Simple and plain. That just makes the most sense to me. Because most of the things we're taught in school is useless, kind of, when we get older and we don't have a career in all that specific things. It's like, why did I learn all that history? Why did I have to learn trigonometry and what how many jobs really need that? And so it's a setup. And more than that, it's they're training and teaching us to use our left brain and suppress the creative side. Because even if you look at artistic classes and things like that, or music class, it's not, oh, if you can create a beautiful piece of music like Mozart or something, oh, you get a good grade. No, it's you have to learn how we do music. You have to follow our scales and tempos and learn. And why? Why in art class can't somebody paint a beautiful picture, and if it looks like Mona Lisa or something, they get a good grade? Why is it you have to do the standard curriculum? Because they're teaching you to use that left side and that slow thinking side. And it's a lot of us that can probably speed read, but the way they trained us to read slow, you have to vocalize, and even in your head when you're reading, you have to hear the words in your head to read through, and speed reading doesn't work like that. And so how come when these people speed read, they can flip through pages super fast and retain like 99% of the information, and you know, they're not vocalizing the words like that, and they're not using the left side of their brain only to speed read, and it's limiting us. And this is why most of our society is right-handed today, because they're left brain driven. And I think that's a problem. I think we're all supposed to be balanced, and so you should be creating as much as you're locked into strict rules, so to speak. And you know, books in general, we're chopping down trees. Books are hell of expensive, and there's a better way. In 2014 we can all get a laptop for cheaper than the books we have to pay for through our whole, you know, school years. And this would mean that the hood schools don't get the hand-me-down old books and old curriculum. We all can have the e-books and the current up-to-date things. And then, you know, why don't we learn all the things we need in life? You know, like, why don't you learn a little bit of plumbing in school? Why don't you learn how to fix a computer in school? Why don't we learn how to, you know, basically do a little electrician work in our house? Because if you taught everybody how to be self-sustaining, it would destroy their whole monetary system. And these rich people on top, they need a monetary system so they can have a maid clean their toilet. All right? And that's crazy in itself. We can create bathrooms that steam clean themselves in 2014. You just take your tissue and your towels out when you do that. Push a button, steam clean. Boom. So why do we need people to clean other people's shit? And then it's just, we got to start thinking about this, you know. All the classes, they should be broadcast on the internet. So even if you're sick at home, your mom's still you're going to have your laptop, and you still going to be in school sick at home, because they're live broadcasting it. And even if you went to school, maybe you was kind of daydreaming in class a little bit, you could replay the classroom's lesson that day or whatever. And you know what I mean? So all kind of stuff. And then if the classrooms were broadcasted themselves, even the students, the parents could chime in on that and see how their kid is acting in school. Oh, you was talking in school again. You was talking in class again. And we have the means to do this, and we have means to do it better. I think it's crazy how many lights are on in schools, where we could build schools where at least on the top floor you have clear parts so you get sunlight in, and you don't have to turn on a light most days if it's not cloudy or something. So the video is getting long. I could probably rant about this forever, but that's my video. We need to fix the schools. We need to come together and start changing some stuff. Peace.